Hey guys, oh, I forgot about this. As you can see, I have a mic now. Sorry if the camera quality is bad. I'm literally just filming it on my laptop because I don't want to take my phone out and have to like record a voiceover over something, because this mic plugs into like USB. So, yeah, so that's why I'm having some shit camera quality. Also, you can like hear everything with this mic, so yeah, which should be an indicator of what's going on next. Music, perhaps. But I wanted to start like this little series on my YouTube channel where I just sit in my bed and I talk, which you'd think I'd have by now. If you know me like in person, you'd think I'd have that by now, but I don't. So we're starting one right now. What? It's called As My Frontal Lobe Develops because I am still a teenager and my frontal lobe has not developed. I'm very far from that. I'm not gonna out my age on the internet. You guys are gonna have to find that out yourselves. Like, what? I'm probably gonna pick a better filming spot. I just wanted to sit on my bed today. And I really just didn't want to move anything on my desk. And this part of like my room looks so bad because I haven't decorated yet. But it's okay. Basically, As My Frontal Lobe Develops, it's just gonna be like a series of things that I just talk about, and it's kind of like a time capsule for me to go back to when I'm like old. And oh, look at how bad my side part is. I don't even think that's like my actual part. Like, that's just there. It's just there. Anyway, it's just gonna be like a little thing for me to like go back to when I'm old and decrepit, and if I just want to relive my life for some reason. But I am actually gonna talk about things like on this series. Like, I'm not just gonna like not talk about you know what I mean? Yeah, okay. Anyway, I did get a mic, and yeah, so snuggle in or play this in the back, or really just play this whenever. Treat it like a podcast. I'm not gonna start a podcast, but if I do, you guys will be the first to know. I'm not gonna start a podcast, but I just need like a place to yap, okay? I just need a place to yap. So this is As My Frontal Lobe Develops. If anybody knows me, this past few weeks, really the entire summer, has just been really bad. But also, you know what? I am gonna out my age on the internet. Who cares? I just graduated high school and I start college soon. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? That's just crazy to me. Like, growing up is just like, it's one of those things that I think a lot of us have trouble with, but for some reason, like, some of us struggle with it more, and that's okay. Like, everybody's going through life at their own pace, and there's nothing wrong with that. The only time limit we have is death. Like, that's really all. Like, that's really it. So, like, I don't know. I'm gonna struggle as much as I can and just be able to sit in my emotions for a little bit. But as you guys may have read by the title, this is things I'm learning as I get out of teenagehood. Because like, yeah, I'm only a teenager for like another year. What? What do you mean? That's crazy. Like, actually a bit insane. But that's okay. Like, it's just another phase of my life. But I think nowadays, at least the teenagers that I meet, I don't know, maybe it's like puberty or something, or we're all just like going through different things and we're growing up differently as people. But nobody just sits and thinks. Like, I don't know if it's just like the people that I'm seeing on the internet. And by the way, like, obviously the internet should not be a generalization of an entire generation, but you know what I mean. Like, a lot of us, maybe it's just the fact that Gen Z is growing up and watching like the younger half not develop like we did. Like, the older half of like the generation is not like, I don't know how to phrase this. It's just a lot of people are becoming less self-aware and not really taking the time to like just sit and think about what's going on. So I compiled a list of things that I'm, learning that I feel like a lot of people should have in their brain. Obviously, I can't tell somebody to learn something. For me, like, in order to learn something, you have to experience it. So you can't just tell somebody to do it. But, like, I don't know. This is just things that I'm learning. And things that I think, like, we just need more of in the world. Or, like, just statements that should be more present and more communicated in all of, like, the forms of... Oh, if you can hear my brother in the back, I don't know what he's playing. So, if you can hear him, sorry. But these are just, like, things that I think we just need to hear more of. Because I feel like the media and the other people around us, like, don't say it that often. So I'll be the one to say it. Okay. People don't define my happiness or make my happiness. I do. I feel like that one's, like, a pretty easy statement. Okay, other people can add to your happiness, obviously, but you shouldn't be relying on somebody to make you happy all the time. You can't rely on other people to make you happy. Because, like, at the end of the day, like, we're either gonna die alone or die spontaneously anyway. So if you're gonna die relying on other people to make you happy, then honestly, I don't really think you just lived. Because 99% of living is living for you. Like, you're not living for other people. It's other people especially aren't living for you. That sounds like a bad thing to say, but, like, other people aren't living for you. They're living for the notion of life in general. So why, especially, like, you shouldn't have to be the forefront of someone's happiness, and why should other people? Like, you shouldn't have to define someone's happiness or make them happy 24/7. People are people. We're not gonna be like this picture perfect person all the freaking time. Like, yeah, other people can add to your happiness, but that doesn't mean that other people define your happiness. What makes you happy, and you shouldn't be relying on other people to do that for you. Do you know what I mean? Like, happiness is just it's such an umbrella term of, like, it's undefinable, honestly. Because, like, what makes me happy probably won't make another person happy, and that's okay. Like, I'm not living for somebody else, they're not living for me, and you shouldn't be either. You should not. And, like, even adding on to that, like, you should not be sacrificing your happiness for the sake of someone else's. Do you know what I mean? So that's what I mean by, like, other people don't define my happiness, and you don't define other people's either. We're just living. Like, it took me so long to realize that, because, like, having majority of my teenage years spent in COVID, and then recovering from COVID, and then all of a sudden it's over and I'm going to college, like, what? And I'm growing up, like, miles away from where I used to live, and it's just like, if I relied on other people to make me happy only for me to move away from them later, then I'm not happy at all, period. So I really just it's so hard to explain, but it's also not. I'm just finding words. But, like, you know what I mean. Like, other people are not here to serve you, and you're not here to serve other people either. You're here to serve yourself. The longest relationship you will have is with yourself. So define what makes you happy. Don't let other people do that for you, and don't do that for other people, period. It's just, like, such a big thing. I also hate when people do that, because, like, how are you gonna tell me what makes me happy? And how are you gonna tell me what I should do? I think I know myself best. I think I know what's best for me, not you, period. Do you know what I mean? So I'm just taking that into account when, like, I'm thinking about what makes me happy and what makes me function better and what makes me process things better. Because other people can't define that stuff for me. I have to define that for me. And I shouldn't let other people define that for me either. And you shouldn't either. It's such, like, it's just such, like, a big thing. And it's, I feel like with, like, the addition of social media and how and, like, share and other people sharing how they process things, like, okay, that's so ironic because I'm doing that too. It's just, like, it adds a layer of, like, oh, what should I be doing? These are just suggestions. Like, you don't have to do that. If it doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for you. If it doesn't make you happy, it doesn't make you happy. If it makes them happy, okay, You do not have to please people all the freaking time. I'm still trying to unlearn that. I'm a people pleaser. But like, you do not have to make people happy all the time. They don't have to make you happy all the time. The only person that should be making you happy all the time is yourself. Always do things for yourself first. Put yourself first. On another note, about like relying on other people, codependency is not an act of love. Codependency in any relationship, a friendship, family relationship, an actual relationship, and take this, okay, I'm in a very happy relationship at the moment. I'm living my life. I'm very happy. But that doesn't mean that I depend on him for everything. I need space, he needs his space, and that's okay. Like, if you are depending on somebody all the time to make you happy, to please you, to serve you as a person or serve the relationship, it's not an act of love and show that you're healthy either. Because why are you depending on another person for needs that you could be doing yourself? Like, you don't need to be around your partner 24/7. You don't need to text your partner 24/7. Yeah, you don't need to do all of that 24/7. Obviously, like, that doesn't mean don't check up on your partner. Obviously, go check up on your partner. And like, you know, like a little check-in, a little text every now and then. But you don't need to be around them 24/7. They don't need to be doing things for you 24/7. And you don't need to be either. If there are things that they can do by themselves, let them do it by themselves. Let them have their own space. In every relationship, there is a barrier that needs to be put up. And like, this is not even just in romantic relationships either. You're not around your friends 24/7. You're not around your parents 24/7. You're not around your siblings 24/7. You might live in the same house, but it's not like you guys are actively in their room, or like doing everything together. No, like, maybe you'll sit in your own room. Maybe you'll go out by yourself. That should apply to a relationship too. Codependency and constant attention is not an act of love. To me, that's just like an act of being controlling. Because you can't rely on your partner just like how you can't rely on your parents 24/7. You can't rely on your siblings 24/7. You can't rely on your friends 24/7. The only person that you can rely on 24/7 is you. Obviously, I mean, like, that doesn't mean like handle everything by yourself. Duh. Like, we all need interaction with other people, and we all need other people to function properly. But that doesn't mean that you have to be around somebody 24/7. And even if somebody isn't around you 24/7, that doesn't mean that they don't love and cherish you. Like, even I'm still like learning that as I go on, because like, I was not in a relationship for the longest time before I got into this one, and I know how to be alone. And you have to realize, like, being in your own space sometimes is okay. Like I said, the longest relationship you will ever have is with yourself. So spend some time with yourself. Don't be dependent on your partner to make you feel loved all the time. Because before you can really love somebody, you have to love who you are. Do you know what I mean? You have to love who you are as a person, and you have to love spending time with yourself. Because you've lived with yourself longer than you've lived with them. The only thing that's going to be in your life all the time is you. So why rely on another person to make you feel loved when you have yourself sitting right here? You don't need to be dependent on your partner 24/7. You don't need to really be dependent on anybody 24/7. I also just really hate codependency in general, because like, personal space is a thing. You need personal space. And yeah, I'm still learning this, guys. And this goes for all teenagers out there. Like, you're still learning, and that's okay. You're still a person. You're a person that is learning. We are always constantly learning. We are always constantly growing. Just take it to heart. And honestly, learn these lessons as you go. You might hear this now and be like, oh, whatever, she's wrong, or what, or whatnot. Fine, view me as wrong. I don't care. It is a lesson that you will learn eventually. You learn everything eventually. There's no time limit on learning. The only time limit we have in this life is death. Like, come on. The only two things promised in life are change and death. That's it. So take your time. Take your time. Don't stifle your growth, or don't try and rush growth. On that note, not rushing. Don't try and rush love either. You can't rush something that's already there. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's love and change is just, those are forces that are always going to be there. And that doesn't mean that just because you don't feel it, or that that you're like at a stagnant point in your life, that doesn't mean that you should try and rush things, because you can't be moving 24/7. You can't be operating 24/7. You have to take the time to sit and just feel out the territory that you're in. Get comfortable with it. Because if you rush change, then it'll be too big of a, then like a big change will happen. You won't be ready for it. So you have to be able to sit and just let things happen. Just like how you have to just sit and let things happen with love too. I wrote down here, like, love is infinite and undefinable, because it is. Love is not just romantic. Do you know what I mean? Like, love is platonic. Love, self-love, you know, like, love in the entire world. I wrote an entire piece on this, which I will link, by the way. I kind of ate with that. I'm going to link it in the description so that you guys can read it. But as I'm saying, like, love is just that one thing that's just like, it's always everywhere, and you have to be able to see that. That's like that's also another thing. Like I know that love is everywhere. I just need to feel that. Like, it's a force that's really the result. Is my dog snoring? My dog is snoring. It's a force that's everywhere. It's a force that was created the second the Big Bang came to be. It's in everything. Everything is combining and everything is rushing together. And is that not the entirety of love in general? Like, you can feel love everywhere. It doesn't just have to be romantic. I saw a video essay like a few months ago where it's just like the rise of the importance of romantic love is diminishing the importance of platonic love and self-love. And honestly, it kind of is, because everyone these days like wants a relationship and wants to be with somebody, but like you're already in a relationship. You're in a relationship with yourself. You're in relationships with your friends, with your family. Like, love is not just romantic. Love is platonic. Love is self-love. Love is absolutely everywhere. Go on a walk. Go look at the birds in their nests. Go look at the fish in the pond. Like, love is literally everywhere. And just because you're single, or like you don't feel it, like, the reason you're here right now is because two people loved each other enough to make you, to keep you, and to let you be here. And you loved yourself enough to be here right now listening to this, listening to me yabber on. Is that not the largest act of love ever? Like, if you think that love is just something from another person, like, come on, stop. And that's what I'm saying when it's like infinite and undefinable, because like it's everywhere. You can't stop a force that's been here since the beginning of time. And it's undefinable, and like what I find as love might not be love for somebody else. What somebody else finds as love might not be my definition of it either. And that's okay. You do not have to abide by somebody else's rules on what makes you feel good and what makes you feel loved and appreciated. Obviously, this does not mean to condone abuse. Never condone abuse, okay? But like the little things, like what makes somebody else feel loved is not the same as what I'm gonna feel. Like, some people are okay with grander gestures. Some people are okay with smaller gestures. I'm in the middle. That's okay. Find a middle ground. That's where I am. And that doesn't mean that like it's not love. If somebody finds it different than I do, that's okay. It's not the end of the world. Like, come on. You don't have to abide by somebody else's views and somebody else's rules on what love is in general. You know what I mean? Like, it's not something that you need to listen to. Honestly, now that I'm looking through this list, I'm kind of realizing that this is a lot of like self stuff. Yeah, that's okay. Speaking of self, I have another thing. I am pretty and I don't need other people to remind me of that. That's it. That doesn't need explanation. The beauty industry and beauty standards in general it's literally a construct, like time. Those didn't exist until somebody put them in a category and said that they were pretty. It's like how time didn't exist until like the ancient civilization started timing their days by when the sun went around or when there was light in the day. You do not need other people to remind you that the face that you were born with, that the that the body you were born with is pretty. Because who's to say what's pretty? Everything is pretty, and you can't say that nothing is, that nothing, wait, that what? You can't say that like everything is like ugly either, because what defines ugly? Who defines ugly? I mean, obviously what you think is not aesthetically or visually pleasing might not align with what I find is aesthetically or visually pleasing, and that's okay. So who's to say that you aren't pretty? Who's to say that like what you were born with isn't pretty? Because we're all viewing things differently. So why would you need other people to remind you that you're pretty? You're pretty, period. You don't need other people to remind you of that. Like, we're all viewing things differently. View yourself as pretty because you're pretty, period. I'm still learning that. Like, I'm learning that. Like, I'm trying to unlearn like what the stupid little beauty standard stereotypes are. Like, come on. Like, what I do is not to match, like, I work out, I do makeup, but that's not to match the beauty standards. That's just because it makes me feel pretty. Obviously there could be like a double-sided argument to this, because if it's like, oh, if you viewed yourself as pretty, why are you using makeup? Let me do what I want. If I feel more pretty with makeup, I'm gonna put on my damn makeup. That's also good. Like, oh my gosh, this is such like a big problem, because like everyone's like, oh my god, if you viewed yourself as pretty, you wouldn't use makeup. Who cares if somebody's using makeup? If that makes them feel pretty, let them feel freaking pretty. Like, what? If you feel pretty, do your makeup. Do your makeup. Go feel pretty. If you feel pretty, dyeing your hair, dye your hair. Feel pretty. No one needs to remind you that. If you feel that, then you feel that, period. And if you feel pretty, you feel pretty. And that is already enough. Other people do not need to remind you of that, because you already know it. You already feel it. Also, this is a PSA. If you shit on people for doing things that make them feel pretty, get out. Get out right now. Get out right. Why are you doing that? Do you really have nothing else to do? Like, can you maybe sit and work on yourself before shitting on somebody else? Do you really have nothing better to do? Like, oh my god, all of this hate in the world can be channeled into love, into energy for yourself. Well, it's really funny because I'm a hater through and through, but I don't hate that much. Like, I really don't care that much. Okay? But if you're a shitty person, there's a door. The door's to my left. Get out. Stop being a hater. Stop hating for no reason. There's no reason for you to hate. Why are you hating? Like, what the fuck? Anyway, next thing. I cannot read other people's minds, and they cannot read mine. People who go nonverbal when something is wrong. Listen to that again. I cannot read other people's minds, and they cannot read mine. Let that sink in. Do you hear that? Yeah. You are alone maybe 80% of the time. Maybe 90% of the time. You're sitting in silence and thinking. And I don't know if you know, but do you have telepathy? Because I don't. And if you do, well then give me some of that. But 99% of the time, no one has telepathy. Nobody can tell what you're thinking. Maybe if you show it through body language, maybe if you tell somebody, but 99% of the time, nobody knows what you're thinking. And that's okay. Do you know what somebody else is thinking? No. Can you maybe predict what they're thinking? Sure. But you do not know exactly what they are thinking. And neither do other people when referring to you. And that's okay. If you want to communicate something, you can't just shut up about it. You gotta communicate. You gotta yap. And I'm trying to get better at that. I don't like to talk about my feelings, my internal feelings, because I don't want to cause problems. But oh my god, like, if something is wrong and someone's asking if something's wrong, especially, okay, I know my boyfriend gets annoyed at this, okay? And Aiden, if you're listening to this, I know this shit pisses you off, okay? Because it'll piss me off too. But obviously, if somebody knows something is wrong and they ask you what's wrong and then you say like, oh, it's nothing, it's okay. Stop lying. Stop it. They can't read your fucking mind. Nobody can read your mind, and that is okay. We are human beings. We are not fucking superheroes. We do not need to be superheroes. If somebody is there for you and they're asking you, are you okay? That's already better than a lot of other people would. Other people would let you suffer in silence if they knew that something was wrong. But if somebody cares for you and somebody loves you enough to ask you what is wrong, tell them what is wrong. And nobody, just because, but they love me, they should be knowing what's wrong. If you don't shut up right now with that mindset, I swear to God. If somebody loves you, they'll ask if you are okay. And if someone you love is asking if you're okay, you tell them the truth. Because to me, one of the strongest acts of love is checking in on somebody. And if somebody loves you enough to check up on you, then you should give them the freaking proof that you should be giving them. No, it's not. You should just be telling them what's going on, okay? Because they asked and they care. And they are not going to develop any mind reading powers. And that's fine. That's fine. It's okay. God. I need to get better at that. I know. So all my friends watching this, and especially my boyfriend, I'm sorry. I love you guys so much. I swear I'm getting better at this. Kisses. You are not somebody's number one priority all the time, and that's okay. The only person who will have you as their number one priority is you. Do you hear that? You are not someone's number one priority all the time, and that's okay. Look, if we prioritized other people instead of prioritizing ourselves all the freaking time, are we really living? No. You should be prioritizing yourself all of the time, but that does not mean that other people should be prioritizing you all of the time. Because if you are prioritizing yourself, what do you think that other person's doing? Prioritizing themselves too. Obviously, this does not mean that if you are in a relationship or it's someone you love and they're not even taking the time to do something for you, or just like a tiny little baby itty bitty thing, that's not okay. You should be a priority. Listen to this. You should be a priority. You should not be the priority. Okay? And that is okay, because you are still a priority. The priority in someone else's life should be themselves. They should be prioritizing themselves when needed. Other people are not here always for you. And honestly, sometimes you're not there for other people all the time either. And that's okay. You should be treating life like how you want to be treated, obviously. But that also comes with knowing your limitations. If you prioritized other people all the time and you didn't put any work into yourself, do you think that's going to make you feel good? No. You should be prioritizing yourself just as much as you are prioritizing other people, if not more. Because, like I said, the only deadline is death. The only constants are love and change, and the longest relationship you will have is with yourself. So prioritize yourself first. Do what makes you happy first. And then when you're in the right headspace and you are ready, go to other people. Prioritize other people. But do not make other people your number one priority, because your number one priority is you. Okay? Do we understand that? Good. Okay? And it's okay not to be someone's number one all the time. That's okay. My number one is me. But that doesn't mean that I shut other people out, or that I don't take the time to do things for other people. Obviously I do. But if it gets too much, then I'll just retreat into my mind palace and I'll do something for me. Okay? And that's okay. I swear to God, if somebody comments, some of these are contradictory. Look at this with some nuance, okay? Look at this with this thing called nuance. If you don't know what that is, There, I put up the definition on screen for you, okay? Nuance. Always have nuance. Nothing's ever general. Another thing. Loneliness is still time spent in the world. You do not have to be social 24/7. I am not social 24/7. And while I love being around people, and I love being with my friends, and I love being with my boyfriend, I need me time. And that is still time I'm spending in the world. And that's okay. That's good. Spend some time with yourself. The world is we are literally floating on a giant rock in the middle of space. Spend some time with yourself. It is still time spent in the world. It does not make you unproductive. It does not make you lesser than. It makes you a person that prioritizes themselves and is good to themselves and is good to other people. Loneliness does not mean that you are alone. It just means that you're taking the time to be alone. That's an interesting way to put things, but you guys get what I mean, okay? I'm literally just saying things as the thoughts flow out. You are still breathing oxygen. You're still taking your steps. You're going on your walks. You're making your coffee, your matcha, your tea. You're drinking your water. You are spending time in the world. And that is good enough. You do not have to be around people 24/7 to spend time in the world. You being on this earth is already time spent. So spend it wisely, or spend it doing what you like to do. And if you like being alone, then go be alone. You do not have to be around people 24/7 to be productive. You do not have to be around people 24/7 to have fun. You can have fun by yourself. I'm having fun by myself. Do you know what I'm doing? I'm sitting here in front of my laptop with a mic, headphones, in my bed at like 9 p.m. just talking. And I'm having so much fun. Like, what? Like, I'm just spending time. I'm spending time with the world. Okay, obviously my dogs are in here, but they're like asleep. Maybe. Yeah, they're asleep. I'm still spending time in the world. I'm just talking. The world is listening to me. The universe is up there listening. Like, I'm spending time with it. I'm spending time in my solitude, and that's okay. You can spend time in your solitude. You can spend your time alone, and it'll literally be fine. Because tomorrow's gonna come, and if you spend another day alone, that's fine. Because you know what? You're still in this world. It is better to be here than be dead in a ditch somewhere, or be 6 feet under. Like, if you were 6 feet under tomorrow, well, what are you missing? You could be missing something. You could be missing another silly little Kamala HQ post on TikTok. Maybe another bird species is gonna come out of extinction. Spend time in the world. Loneliness is time spent in the world, because the world is turning, and you're experiencing it. And you're letting it happen, and you're learning new things, and you're just existing. Just exist. Be okay with existing. You can be okay with existing. It is okay to exist. I broke the fourth wall with that one. I finally looked at my camera. It is okay to just exist. You can just exist. And you're still spending time here, making it better every day, one day at a time. You're making it better one day at a time by being here and not being dead. Wow, I'm so positive today. I'm so positive. Next. Oh, this is my last one. I saw a video on it. I'm going to link it. Because everybody should listen to it. If someone wants to do something, just let them. Just let them do it. Obviously, this doesn't mean condone abuse. Never condone abuse and being talked badly about. Don't do that. When I say just let them, if somebody wants to walk out of your life and never come back, just let them do it. You are not responsible of how people act. You are not responsible of anybody. You're not responsible for anybody but yourself. You're not responsible for how people act. You're not responsible for the decisions they make. If somebody wants to make that decision, let them make that decision. If they want to reap the benefits, let them reap the benefits. If they want to face the consequences, let them face the consequences. You're not suffering for it. That's okay. Rather let them figure it out the hard way than you suffer. And On that note, don't beg anybody to come back into your life. Never beg anybody to come back into your life. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to do that. You don't need to do that. If somebody wants to leave, let them leave. If somebody wants to come back and talk things out maturely, like adults, give it a go. But if somebody wants to just completely make the stupidest decision, let them make the stupidest decision. Who's suffering? Them, not you. If someone wants to love you, let them love you. Don't decide that, oh, well, I did this in the past or this happened. Like, obviously every single person is a lesson, and if lessons repeat, lessons repeat. Don't condone abuse, though. I'll put that out again. Never condone abuse. Practice nuance when listening to this video, by the way. But if somebody wants to love you, let them love you, bro. Let them love you. Like, you can't. Why would you reject that? Why would you just reject that as like, oh God, like that just, oh, that really ruffles, that really grinds my gears. That really ruffles my feathers. Like, if somebody wants to love you, let them love you. If somebody doesn't want to love you, so let them not love you properly. If somebody doesn't want to love you properly, let them and then leave. Do that for yourself. But if somebody wants to do something for you, let them do it. If somebody wants to make a stupid decision, let them make the stupid decision. If somebody wants to do something, let them do it. You can't control other people. You can control yourself, but you cannot control other people, and that is okay. It's not bad on you that somebody made a stupid decision, okay? It is never your fault that somebody made a stupid decision. The decision that they made is on them, never on you. Because are you controlling, like, are these your little Sims that you're controlling in, like, your little Sim land? No, these are people. This is not a video game. You can't control other people like you control characters. Like, fuck, I can't fucking control my fucking brother. He's not fucking Ethan Winters from Resident Evil 7 and 8. And that's okay. As much as I wish I could control his stupidity, that's shit for him to learn. I know what I'm doing. He got to figure it out on his own. I can't tell him to learn something. Learning is a immersed experience. You can be told something, but you can't learn it until it happens. Just like how you just gotta let people do what they do. You can't. If somebody wants to be stupid, let them be stupid. That's on them. That's not on you. They're being stupid. You're not. So let them be stupid. Honestly, it's kind of for your own good too, because you're kind of just protecting your peace. Like, if somebody wants to do something, that's on you, buddy. Like, it's not on me. It's on you. Never on me. Yeah, that's like my award-winning mindset. That's all I have written down, but I would like to impart one last piece of wisdom that I stick by forever. Be the person you never had. If you grew up wanting like something so bad, or wanting like this specific trait in a friend or a partner or a family member, put that trait into yourself. You heal yourself. Other people do not heal you for you. You heal yourself. Other people cannot heal you for you. They may help. They may be a reason as to why you're healing. Maybe their energy is good for you. But you have to heal yourself. Other people cannot heal you for you. So be the person that you wish you had. Be the person that you wanted. Because when you become something, then you attract that something. And then it's just an endless cycle of good. You know? When you want something, be that something. When you want a specific trait, be that trait. Work not because you want to attract it. Work because you wanted it. Don't work for it just to attract it into your life. Work for it for you. For you. Because you never had it. So give it to yourself now. Do you know what I mean? I try every single day to not be the person that I was at 16 or the person that I was at fucking 14. I work every day to not be the person that I was then, because I didn't have anybody then. So I'm working to be the person that I wish I had then. I'm working to be a better version of what I wanted. And it's honestly doing me a service, because like now I'm just, obviously I have like the depression spells, the depressive episodes. I have the anxiety attacks for like months on end. But I know now that like I have me to get through that. And because I had me, and because I put that energy into myself, now I have other people that can help me with that too. Like when I need something, I'll go to myself first, and then I can go to other people, because I'm that person for me. And that's okay. That's good. Like I said, the longest relationship you will have is with yourself. So why not work on yourself? Why not love yourself? Why not be that person for yourself? Yeah, be the person you wish you had. I'm gonna get that tattooed. Sorry, Mom, if you watch this. And Dad, I'm gonna get that tattooed. I got big girl money now. Anyway, that's kind of all I really have for today. My boyfriend still hasn't texted me back. Ugh. That's all I really have for today. I hope you guys enjoyed listening to me yap. Probably gonna have more, because I love talking about like self-help stuff. I need to articulate my thoughts better, like I know that. But take everything, honestly, like this is just shit that I know and that I'm learning. So take everything with a grain of salt. What works for you might not work for me, or what works for me might not work for you, and that's okay. We're all different people. Who cares? Just be a good person. Be a good person, be kind, and be good. Be good. If not for other people, then for you. That's all I got. I'll see you guys next time. Like and subscribe, please. Please like and subscribe. Please like and subscribe. Please like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next as my frontal lobe develops. Oh, and everything that I mentioned will be in the description. Plus my Instagram, which you guys should follow for more video updates. Yeah, I like doing this stuff. Expect new music eventually, soon. I got this bad boy for a reason. Yeah, okay. Bye, guys. Be good, be kind, be a force in the world. A good force, be a good force in the world. Love y'all.